I used to think all woman ever wanted from me was just sex.
I sent her 24 roses on her 24th birthday. Yeah. She got a boyfriend 3 weeks later though, so the game's the game, man.
Hi, I'm Tonye Mak, director, filmmaker and storyteller. Amongst my peers, the narratives around dating have felt really toxic and negative of late, so I wanted to create a space to have fun, honest and grounded conversations. It's time to change the story. This is Dating Black.
It's so love, it's so love, it's so love, it's so love. It's so love, it's so love, it's so love. It's so love, it's so love, it's so love, it's so love, it's so love.
Explain to me the most delusional you've ever been in a relationship.
Shallow how, delusional, what kind of delusional? You know shallow how?
Like you don't even know that this breakup is even coming. Yeah. One was a shock to me still.
Came left field.
Yeah, like what it wasn't really, to be fair, it was the delusional part of me. Right. It wasn't left field at all. Oh, okay. It was in the middle of the road.
Yeah. I feel like delusional is like, it's one of those feelings of the past though, innit? Because you didn't know you was delusional at the time. It's only when you look back, you realize, I wasn't seeing straight. But I've definitely had that where it's like, I'm with somebody that we're not compatible. She's just nice. We're cool when we're young, but there's nothing, this isn't going anywhere. But in my head, it was like, but I don't give up on things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Men love that.
I hate quitting sometimes.
I hated quitting.
You don't want to quit, like.
We always learn, like, love is hard. Like, it's not easy.
You guys feel like you're different when you're in love?
Yeah.
How different? What's the difference?
More caring. You realise that you're not only thinking about yourself. You can't.
I think I'm probably just like a heightened version of myself, if that makes sense. So for example, like I'm very giving. Like I'll do things for you as well, innit? But obviously when I'm in love, that kind of, it will heighten. Or like I pay attention to detail with things and I'll do things based on the fact that I know that you like this.
Definitely more vulnerable because you feel like this person knows me, knows either my deepest and darkest or my worst, my best. So like you can actually be yourself to a point where you don't even recognize yourself as well. I'm thinking, I didn't even think I'd say that or tell you that, but I can, so I will.
Slightly more excessive with it. So like if you ask my people, they'll tell you that, listen, I'm very loving. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of love to give anyway. So when there's someone there to give it to you, like you just pour it out.
I feel like I've been the same me for a very long time, and the only thing that's gonna make me more different than what I am or what I've been is children. That will probably bring out more vulnerability and stuff like that out of me. But yeah, I want it to be loved for me. You know, I want it to be loved as the prick I am. Yeah. That sounded nice. That did. Being loved for you and know what you can do. And
I want to show you my worst self. Here I am.
I was literally talking to my boy. He was saying that I'm not ready for the deep love I'm gonna have for my daughter. I was like, do you not love your wife? And then we got into this massive debate about the different type of love. It's not different, deep love, but it's different for your kid. Different. I don't know if I agree with that.
He's the dad.
It's different, man. It's different. It's very, very different.
What's the difference then? Because you should love your wife as deeply as you love your kids.
Impossible. It's possible for you to love them like at a high level, but like I love my wife because I met her, but I loved my child before I met her. Do you know what I mean? As soon as I heard you're pregnant, I was like, oh shoot.
I love this person.
I love this child before she's even here. You could be a horrible person. I don't even know anything about you yet, but I'm gonna do everything in my life. If your wife was
a horrible person, you would leave.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I would leave. So it's like, now everything I'm doing is for this person I haven't even met yet.
Do you know, I've heard that before, and obviously I don't have any children, but I guess there's like a certain type of feeling that you get when you have your first child. I feel like every time I've ever watched a movie or I've had like family members have children, they've just said that they can't quite quantify or articulate that feeling of love they have for this newborn thing that they've put into this world.
The love is both high, but it's different. It's unconditional. Like, I've never understood that until I've had a child. And then I started to understand why you can get away with so much stuff with your parents. I started to understand why like, you know when you see someone acting mad on road, and you're like, why don't the mum just kick them out, man? And then, could I kick my daughter out if she... Probably not.
Choosing your partner is very, very key. Love has to be a part of it. I'm not saying it has to be the end all be all, but you have to love this individual to, again, put her first a lot of the times, because she's carrying your babies. Do you know what I mean? You're building a home that's not an easy choice. That's not easy work, you know.
So you don't have unconditional love for your wife?
There's conditions to it. Because if she was to hurt me...
That's very honest.
Yeah, there's conditions to it. I would love to say it's unconditional, but at the end of the day, she could do something very mad and I could be like, I need to leave this marriage. Those conditions are very, like, it's very strong. Like, you would have to really
being told to love unconditionally, that's a dirty chokehold.
That's
like,
crazy.
That's manipulation.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You just don't...
You can't tell me to love you unconditionally. That means you want freedom to do whatever you want and I should still love you. Nah.
That's dangerous.
Am I in love? I knew he was going to ask me this question. Let's just say this. I'm on the plane. My seatbelt is tucked, but the plane hasn't taken off yet.
Do you lot like love? Are you like hopeless romantics?
I feel like if you're gonna be in a relationship, it's 100% on just don't bother, just be in the jungle. People half-step too much and then they get to their deathbed and they feel like, I should have done this. Like, just do it now, and then if it doesn't work out, change.
I can't lie, I'm a lover, yeah.
So you're a hopeless romantic?
That is literally me. I should probably get it tatted on my wrist because, goddamn. Biggest hopeless romantic, what? I can love. Love can kill, women can kill.
Nah, definitely not a hopeless romantic. I believe in being nice.
Okay, wow. You believe in being nice and that's
it?
it?
Yeah, chivalrous in a sense, but I feel like chivalrous back then is different to chivalrous now.
Not hopeless, like,
There's hope.
Hopeful.
There better be hope. Yeah. I'm tied in this for life.
So I remember there was a girl that I was seeing last year, and then I do consultancy, so I help people, like brands and like people set up limited companies and stuff, and then she set up a limited company, and she wasn't meant to do this, but she did the postal address to her house address. And then I remember she was turning 24, her birthday's a week after mine, and I needed a way to find her address without her knowing. I went on the government website, gov.co.uk, to find her limited company, which I helped her register. To find her address, I sent her 24 roses on her 24th birthday. Yeah. She got a boyfriend 3 weeks later though, so the game's the game, man.
100% there's love stories. We've all got like we all had our journeys.
Yeah.
Was it smooth? Mine was quite smooth. Was you lot smooth?
Mine was turbulent.
What's hopeless romantic again? It means that you like. Yeah. I love love still. I love love still.
Yeah. He loves love.
I'd love 29 roses, do you know what I mean? So I'm 29, obviously I'm not a baby no more.
Well. Yeah, come on, 29's a good age, man.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't like flowers. 29 trainers, you know.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
Aww.
Once I'm in.
Yeah.
If I'm not, then yeah, we can dance.
I watched too many Disney movies growing up, so blame That's So Raven, blame Hannah Montana. I was gonna say Wizard of Waverly Place, but my mum didn't let me watch that.
To believe in the fantasy is easy, but doing the work to make that fantasy merge with your reality that's the real love.
Can you give me a song that explains your love life right now?
Dave, Snow Allegra, Law of Attraction. Bow.
So bad, yeah, that. Just thinks about a bit Afrobeats, but...
The funny thing, I was actually going to bust a joke and say that his definitely has to be Afrobeats, bro. Definitely has to be something you can dance to.
His lyrics on that are quite profound because it just makes... It's crazy how you meet someone and you find yourself doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do for someone else that you did for them. That, for me, is the definition of like, yo, I'm really feeling you, like Law of Attraction, or I'm falling.
Zeno Liski, Kilo Fisher. Do you know why, yeah? Because whatever I want to do, I do it. And she does it for each other.
The 10 crack commandments.
10 crack commandments.
It could be that, who knows?
That's Charlie May's Hoyle still. Hoyle. So if you have a Hoyle, then I'll chat to you still. You need to have Hoyle for me to chat to you.
What type of oil?
All types. All types of oil still.
So, can you name 3?
Olive oil, palm oil.
Palm oil.
What future?
Whoa.
Don't say that too loud, man.
That says a lot.
No, that wasn't my song.
That's not my song either. It's not Allegra, I want you around. Get what I'm trying to say.
Men marry the women that are available to them when they're ready and not the love of their lives.
Oh.
Wow, that's deep.
Jesus.
I hope not.
Can the love of your life not be available? Are the two mutually exclusive?
I reckon that's more
As opposed to... No, it's not.
Yeah, that's definitely more women.
That's more women, man.
We just won't get married. Cool.
Nah, you know what? I do get that vibe of like, there's a point where you had that girl, like everybody had that girl, like where it's like, oh, I did her wrong or something, and that might have been the love of your life, and then when you was ready to settle, you kind of just grab the nearest one to you.
That's like saying you can't love more than one person, so, or there's soulmates, there's one person for everyone. You can love hundreds of people, like not hundreds, but you can love bare people, so love of my life, I liked you at the time, relax.
Word.
I've moved on and I'm on to bigger, better. That's why, I would have proposed to her.
So are you trying to say men settle when they've sorted out what they need to sort out? Men settle? I think that's cap. It all boils down to self-respect. If you have worked on yourself and you're doing really well, you wouldn't really necessarily settle. In my eyes, in my mind, it doesn't make sense.
I think what they actually do is keep the loves of their lives around enough until they are ready to marry them.
Do you think that still works?
It works, man.
Yes.
Listen. I don't even want to start. I don't want you to doubt your friends because what they tell you, in the group chat is one thing. What they'll be crying their eyes out on our chest saying is a completely different thing.
If you meet someone at 20 when you may be going through something versus when you meet them at 27 when you're kind of fully established, you could have the same love for them and the same wants, but actually, are you in the right place for that? And it's better to be honest that you're not in the right place than string someone along for a number of years with the hope that it gets somewhere. Yeah. So I do understand what you're saying. So I think both of those statements could be true in one instance. I think it's but I do think it's quite cynical just to be like, when they're ready, because marriage should be a dual thing. It shouldn't just be about, oh, I'm ready, so let's run this now. It should be when we're both ready to go.
Some men will know automatically by meeting a woman for a day, I want to marry you. Like, that's how quick it can be for some men. And some men, they just take their time. So I feel like it's just preference on how willing they're willing to commit to this one person at that time.
I disagree with it, but I do believe that a lot of men have had that situation where when they're ready to get married, it's like, it's not the love of my life, but she's here, she's good to me, fuck it, let's do it.
Some men in some religions are like, I need to be married by 30 and have kids and carry on my journey as a married man. Where some men are like, I just want to take my time. I love the person I'm with, I'll have a family with her, but I just feel like marriage is not what I'm on at this point in life.
I agree. They might not agree, but I agree that happens to a lot of men, most men.
No,
not me though.
Not
I married the
most.
love of my life.
Yes. Me too. I'm marrying the love. Yeah.
One that you've settled down with, she's alright, man. Do you know what I mean? She might be good looking, but she's
You can never look at my girl and say she's alright.
No, I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about she makes you feel okay. Like, she's not like your heart isn't burning for her, but you're just like, she's sweet. She
that grows over time, no?
Her perspective also, like, men have to, so if you want to get married, you got to pop the question. It's not.
It's 2021, you know.
Rules have changed, equality.
It's 2021, like, all I'm saying is.
So what would you, if your missus proposed to you, would you like be cool with that? Would you love it? Would you be chuffed?
Nah, I'd have to propose, to be fair. No, but to be fair
so
though.
It's not 2021 anymore.
But if she did propose, I wouldn't be anti it if I knew we were ready. Does that make sense?
Bro, be honest, fam. She's going to propose, go on one knee.
She's on her knee.
Imagine.
She's wearing a dress, right? This buff dress.
Oh,
you know,
right.
she's got petals and all this stuff. She's wearing her Louboutins, right? And she goes down a little bit because the dress is tight, but obviously. And then, like, you know, Ashley, will you marry me?
I'll be like, stand up, give me the ring. I'll go on one knee and swap it around. Nah, to be honest, it would never get to that stage because when we're ready, I'd know we're ready. But I think to say in 2021 that it should still be completely traditional, it doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah.
What, for the man to propose? No, women should be proposing.
They should be.
They shouldn't be.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that, like, for me personally, but I can't sit here and say to someone,
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
You shouldn't, man. This is at the end of the day, you see, like, as a man, you should always, that should be a decision that you go and make in terms of this. So therefore, if the person's not man enough to do that, then you need to keep it stepping. For me, I think from a faith perspective anyway, it's definitely gazy still.
Do you feel like there's like a disconnect between like black men and black women right now, like in the dating arena?
I don't think there is, you know. I think people tell them things that they want to believe. Like, there's this myth that black men don't date black women or that black men aren't interested in black women, but there are so many black couples that I know. So I feel like people look in the wrong places. And I love black women. What? Nah, man, listen, see black women? Spectacular, chef's kisses. You're one day from Love Island. I've never been more in love with a woman that I've never met in my life.
I wouldn't say that there's a disconnect. I just feel like it's just not highlighted. That's all. It's just not highlighted. People are not as forward as they, I won't say should be, but people just don't see it. We just don't see it. There isn't a platform where it showcases that.
I feel like more black men should get therapy so that they can unpack certain things about themselves, and then obviously like it will affect the way they date.
I feel like black men should get therapy, but feel also comfortable that it's to actually have that.
Yeah, 100. I do therapy still. Obviously, we all have gone through things in life, and you don't actually speak about it. And it's crazy because I found myself in a situation whereby there's always been an elephant in the room. Always been an elephant in the room. And we've never spoken about it. But we're all aware of this elephant. It's massive, we've never spoken about it. And I found myself in a situation whereby I was shown loads of different things pertaining to that situation, innit? And I was mad overwhelmed. Like, I actually started welling up. I've never welled up about anything like that in my life.
The way they allow us to be portrayed, it's a lot. We put our pride first, and you can't really have that vulnerability if your pride is leading conversation. Our black women need to also endorse us in doing that, which I think there's a lack of. It's not welcoming enough, you know? I feel like it's still a grey area for us.
I'm a big advocate for everyone to get therapy because we all go through stuff that sometimes we don't always have the outlets to be able to speak about. Like, you can have the best friends network, but you could still be holding on to some stuff. And it may not be the deepest thing, but it could still be a hurdle that eventually stops your progression. And then, like we're saying, with character builders, what we do, it allows a safe space to really have those discussions. So a lot of the men that I speak to are pro-therapy because they see the benefits of it.
Therapy comes in many different ways. The older we get, the more we should also speak to younger versions of ourselves. And when I say that, the younger men, the boys going into men, speak more, encourage more, because charity starts at home.
It's an example of knowing that there's something wrong, or knowing that there's something that you're hurt about or you want to talk about, and not actually addressing it at all. And whether you address it or not, it's there. You get what I mean? So with my therapist, it's nice to actually just talk.
I don't personally think it's a woman's job. I think it's definitely our responsibility as a man to do that. Unless you are a man, how would a woman even understand how to support us? We need to support each other first.
The way to kind of have like good therapy is to be just 100% transparent, innit? And it can never come back to you because they're just somebody doing a job, if that makes sense. They're not your brethren's brethren, they're not your cousin, they're not your auntie or whatever. There's no ties to you, innit? So you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and there's strength in vulnerability, innit? So I'm enjoying it still, and it's working for me still.
We move is mad dangerous. Like, financially it's dangerous, culturally it's dangerous, like emotionally it's dangerous. Like, yeah, there should be an element of kind of keep things ticking over, but there also needs to be some time for reflection.
At the start of the year, I started therapy sessions, and that kind of spawned off the back of my sister doing one in 2020 in lockdown period. Throughout that moment, I was realizing, okay, cool, there's certain things I need to really look into and ask questions about myself. What's going on, what's happening? Do you know what I mean? It could be minuscule things, but things that consistently repeat itself throughout different relationships. So obviously there's only one common denominator in it. So you've got to look at yourself, right? So obviously when I started therapy in January, yeah, it was peak. Very peak. First day. But I was quite specific because I wanted to speak to a black man. So my therapist was a black man, and I wanted to see if he could actually have that, you know, that similarity or just understand me better. He let me know or let me understand that some of the things that were going through my relationships wasn't exactly my fault. I could share this on camera with you because we've spoken prior to that. So I was sexually molested when I was younger, and that had a massive effect on me in a way where I used to think all woman ever wanted from me was just sex. And then once that's it, like the emotional side, like commitment, all that side was null and void because I didn't know that it was more to it than just that there's actually a committed side outside of the sex spectrum that you have to kind of delve into and work out. That was quite scary because I was like, all right, cool. Once that has happened, so then what else do you look for? So conversations like, okay, why do you want to be with me? Those kind of constant repeated questions was always asked because I guess at some point, maybe I felt like, if that's all you're getting from me, what more do you want from me? Do you know what I mean? Because my mindset was like, okay, I'm giving you what you wanted because my introduction to sex wasn't a normal way. Do you know what I mean? It was out of my control, I was young. And how it was actually forced upon me was very Yeah, it was a bit mad. Growing up, I realised my relationships, especially at the latter stages, or should I say, as I got more older into my 20s, it was affecting, and I was like realising that, yo, there's certain patterns, like you wouldn't let people get real close to you, or why is it that you behave a certain way and then they will kind of back off, unintentionally being with women and hurting them and not understanding why, then actually coming out of that and being like, okay, cool, I see your perspective now. All I can do is apologise because I wasn't aware, innit? But now that I am aware, you have to go with things going forward with intentions. Obviously, my new partner, who I'm with now, understands that, but my perspective on it now has changed because I can be vulnerable, I can let someone in because I ain't got nothing to hide no more. I don't have a crutch, a sense, or I don't have that mindset of thinking that all woman ever wanted from me was just sex. It's a long-winded answer, but I want to say that this is the first time I've done this on camera.
I think it's really great, like what you've done, and I feel like, do you feel like it's super important for black men specifically in the UK?
100%. 100%.
To get therapy.
100%.
To help with
I feel like for me, hopefully they see this as well. There needs to be more of a, because I'm strongly convinced that what has happened to me has happened to other black men. 100%, but no one has come out and said anything. No one wants to, or they're too afraid of how it might make them look or make them feel like, oh, you're not masculine or you're not, quote unquote, an alpha male. How does that make you any less of an alpha male? I don't understand. The two doesn't correlate. You know what I'm trying to say? Something that happened to you when you was a kid about 10 years old that you had no control over, you was unaware of, but you knew that these things were happening to you, affected you down the line throughout your years. If anything, it opens the door to have a conversation. So I challenge any black man that's actually, not even a challenge, I welcome it. I would love to have conversations with you and talk about your experiences because I feel like this has happened to a lot more men, not just me.
Like some women actually just don't want kids. Some women don't even want to get married. Do you know what I mean? Like they just want to make dough and get deep.
I like you.
Love you.
Error. Are you guys calling me a robot? Cool.
It's so love. It's so love. It's so love. It's so love. It's so love.